All right, kids, back again. Another review. So just remember, you guys can pause this anytime. Make sure you get all the notes down and you listen to my endless rambling. So just pause it, copy it down, then you can resume it and just keep it moving. So we got a couple of important vocab words just to get the ball rolling here. This this review lesson does have a vocab sheet with it. So make sure you take a look at the vocab sheet. So you got the aim. Move this for a second. You could pause it and make sure you get everything down. There you have it. So off we go. We're going to split it into two pieces. World War One and the Russian Revolution. So you remember we study both of those topics in the same unit. So we will study both of them here together. So we will split the review in half. So away we go. As is the case with most wars, the Regents doesn't necessarily care about. They don't really need you to know what happens during the course of the warfare. Like maybe once in a while they'll throw you in a question about D-Day or the geography of Northern Europe with regard to the use of tanks and stuff like that. But other than that, they really want you to know causes and effects and kind of what's special about it. So that's how we will kind of approach it. You guys remember World War One big takeaways. Start with causes, and we use the term main, MAIN. So militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism, and you guys know that. Even when we did this the first time, and the first time I ever said, "Does anyone know what main is?" Pretty much all of you knew. So that's a thing that sticks with you guys. So that's important to know. So, like I said, the Regents always cares about causes, and another thing that they're going to really focus in on here is propaganda. We need to know what that is. And certainly the other thing they care about is new tech. World War One is the advent of new technology, such as barbed wire, chemical weapons, machine guns, planes, submarines. The list goes on. So they want you to know that new tech, propaganda, and trench warfare also all contributed to the idea that this becomes a war of attrition, which is really just a lot of people dying on both sides and very little progress for either side. So most of this war is a stalemate until the Russians leave and the United States joins. When the U.S. joins, we give the Allies a boost. Another name for the Allies is the Triple Entente. Entente is a French word for understanding. So good guys versus bad guys. Good guys, quote unquote, United States at the end, France, Great Britain, and in the beginning, Italy, and Russia. Italy will flip flop, and Italy will start off as part of the Central Powers and then flip flop over to the Allies towards the end of the war. Probably a smart move by them. Like we said, eventually Russia leaves, U.S. takes their spot. So those are the good guys. And bad guys, quote unquote, being Germany, Austria, Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and in the beginning, Italy. But like we said, they flip flop. So that's really all we need to know about the course of the war. Ending wise, we need to know about Treaty of Versailles. It's, one of the focal points of this course, especially in the latter stages. It ends World War One, and it also contributes greatly to the beginning of World War Two. So super harsh penalties for Germany. They signed the war guilt clause, where they accept 100% responsibility for the war, pay billions in reparations, and had to basically dismantle their entire military. They're giving up territories both at home in, continental Europe. Sections of territory that used to belong to Germany are being taken from them, and they're also going to lose some colonies also. So this kind of creates a chaotic environment in Germany, and we will go over that some more as we move forward. But that's the general idea behind World War One, and those are the big takeaways. So, like we said, the Russians kind of bow out eventually due to revolution at home. So during warfare puts a strain on resources for everybody. And depending on the society and the way society is built, the burden of limited resources can fall on all groups of people and all kinds of people, or more often than not, the shortage of resources is suffered by the lowest classes. And that's certainly the case in Russia. So, one of the things the Germans do during the course of the war is they cut off the supply line to the interior of Russia, and this causes mass starvation inside of Russia. So, like we've said before, everything is fine until you start messing with people's food supply, and that's nothing new here. So that's exactly what happens. When Russia's food supply starts to suffer, the people kind of start lashing out at their government, and this makes the situation ripe for revolution. Enter Vladimir Lenin and his Bolshevik party. They are going to essentially lead violent revolution against the government, the czarist government, and get rid of the czar and replace them with a communist regime called the Bolsheviks. Vladimir Lenin is going to gain power by promising all of the peasants of Russia peace, bread, and land. This is his big slogan. Some of these people have slogans we need to know, like Otto von Bismarck, blood and iron. We need to know that Lenin and his Bolsheviks are promising peace, bread, and land. Okay, peace, we will get out of this war. Bread, for all those who are hungry, you will have food. And land, for those landless peasants, we will get you land. So this is communism in and of itself, a redistribution of wealth. That's really what they are kind of emphasizing with this part of it, land. So when they say peace, bread, and land being the redistribution of wealth, they're going to give land to peasants, and that's going to, by, kind of de facto, create a redistribution of wealth. Again, this is inspired by Marx and Engels and their Communist Manifesto that they wrote during the Industrial Revolution. So this model of owners exploiting workers for profit is a situation that certainly exists in Russia. And that power dynamic between owners and workers are what results in the workers and the lowest classes being forced to shoulder the burden of limited resources during the war. So it is this classism that exists in Russia that leads to the unequal distribution of resources as they become less and less abundant during the war. And this kind of fuels the communist revolution. So same thing with all communist revolutions, pretty much. They're always going to get the support of the lowest classes. So that is no different here. We'll see it with Mao. You see it here with Lenin. Okay, they get the support of the lowest classes, and that's what enables them to garner power. So that's pretty much the big takeaways. Just keep in mind we do have vocab sheet. There is multiple choice questions also. I'll post the answers. And if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. And stay tuned later for today. I'll give you guys an update from Candela's Cave, just about the general state of things and whatever information I'm, privy to after the meeting I have today. So reach out. I'm here, guys. You can get me on email or just put something on the stream on Classroom. And we'll see you guys soon. Maybe. Later.